Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jaindra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for this subject, Business and Commercial Knowledge. In this lecture, we'll begin with Business Chapter 2, that is Business Environment. All the concepts will be covered in the coming series of lectures. This is lecture number 1. So let us begin. Let us begin today's session with the learning objectives. What we will learn in this chapter. After studying this chapter, you will be able to understand the concept of business environment with its characteristics and importance of business environment. Understand what is environmental analysis and why it is needed, why there is a need for environmental analysis. Know the environmental factors that affect environment and influence a business. Have a basic knowledge of various types of environment, and have an understanding of different microeconomic factors that are affecting the business. Microeconomic factors that are affecting the business. Know the various macroeconomic factors and how they are related to business. I believe you understood. Let us take a quick overview of the chapter. So in this chapter, we'll be studying about business environment in detail, environmental analysis, pestle analysis, political, economic, social, technological, legal, and ethical analysis, strategic response to the environment. Environmental analysis is further bifurcated into internal environment and external environment. External environment is further bifurcated into microenvironment and macroenvironment. I believe you understood till here. Let us move ahead. Introduction. A business is created to provide products or services to customers. If it can conduct its operations effectively, its owners earn reasonable return. Return in terms of profits, return on investment of the firm. In addition, it creates jobs for employees. So there is a creation of employment in the society. Thus, business can be beneficial to society in various ways. Business create business creates employment oblique jobs for the society. I believe you understood till here. I believe you understood. Let us move ahead. A business or firm is an enterprise that provides products or services desired by customers. Along with the large well-known businesses such as the Coca-Cola Company and IBM, there are many thousands of small businesses that provide employment opportunities and to produce products and services that satisfy customers. The world keeps changing. The world is dynamic, it keeps changing. It always has and always will. The basic challenge for any company for that matter, for any living thing is survival. And to survive over the long term, a company must have two capabilities. First, the ability to prosper. Second, the ability to change. The ability to prosper and the ability to change. So, the ability to prosper and the ability to change. What is most surprising is the amount of change going around us. And we notice at the same time how some organizations change very little. So business environment is very dynamic. That means what? Business environment is changing every day, every time. So according to the needs and according to the needs of the business environment, the business also needs to change. And if business will change, it will automatically prosper. I believe you understood. Let's see what Charles Darwin has said. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent will survive, but the one most responsive to change, struggle for existence, survival for the fittest, and origin of new species. I repeat, it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change, struggle for existence, survival for the fittest, and origin of new species. I believe you understood. Let us continue. Over any time period, say 1, 5, or 10 years, 1 year, 5 year, or 10 years, in any geographic regions, thousands upon thousands of new organizations are set up, and within the same time frame many thousands are dissolved. So in business environment, many new entrants are coming, new entries are coming, new businesses are growing, and old businesses are dissolving, liquidating, shut down, because they are not able to cope up, they are not able to change, they are not able to satisfy the society, they are not able to flourish because they are making losses, mostly small ones, but sometimes very large ones too. An analysis that says that approximately 5 crore new firms are born every year across the globe, or about 1,37,000 per day, and similar number of firms are closed as birth and death rates are about equal. The same number of active firms, say around 1,30,000, probably terminate trading each day worldwide. So this is a very huge data. You should understand one thing, that recently Jet Airways closed down, closed down, and GeoMart started. GeoMart, that is Geo E-tail, electronic retail, E-tail started. So, a larger firms like Jet Airways, larger firms like GeoMart, retail or e-tail, larger firms also close down. It's not like the small ones only close down. It is possible that larger firms also not able to make up their catch up their cost, cover up their cost, and they decide to shut down. I believe you understood. I believe you understood. Let us continue. Some organizations go on for a very long time. For instance, the Tata Group, established by Dorabji Tata, has been flourishing since 1907, whereas few commercial organizations have survived for more than a century. On an average, however, the lifespan of commercial organization in our country is about 50 years. This is the average lifespan of any business. I believe you understood. Over the years, surviving organizations change their structures as well as the composition of their activities. As they do so, they either threaten or create opportunities for others. They either threaten or create opportunities for others. Whole new industries appear as new technology are developed. Whole new industries appear as new technologies are developed, creating niche for new activities for both new and old new organizations as well as old organizations, while the other industries disappear. Each business organization operates in its unique environment. Environment influence businesses and also get influenced by it. No business can function free from interacting and influencing forces that are outside its periphery. So, you should understand one thing, that business needs to live with business environment. Business is a part of business environment. So, environment is going to affect the business, and environment is very, very dynamic. Environment is changing, ever changing. It will change, keep on changing. So the business also need to change according to the needs of the society, according to the business environment, according to the external forces. In the emerging economy, the facets of business are rapidly changing as compared to earlier years. The development in technology and faster communication have led to evolvement of newer kinds of businesses. The concept of business such as online shopping were non-existent in yesterday years. That means what? That before few years, nobody was thinking about online shopping. People don't have trust. What don't used to have trust on online shopping, but these days online shopping is doing really great. Customers want to do online shopping. In lockdown situation in India, online shopping acts as a great help. Business are conducted through internet. Now, the business are conducted through internet and have led to virtual shrinkings of physical boundaries between nations. Let us continue. I believe you have understood till here. I believe you understood. Let us continue with the meaning of business environment. Business environment represents all external forces, factors, or conditions that exert some degree of impact on the business decisions, strategies, and actions taken by the firm. The success of a business is generally dependent on its business environment. A successful business has to identify, appraise, and respond to the various opportunities and threats in its environment. To be successful, the business has to not only recognize different elements of its own environment, but also respect or adapt and manage and influence them. So according to the business environment, the business need to adapt themselves. If some crucial changes are happening in the environment, the business need to change according to the business environment, because business environment is ever dynamic and uncontrollable. Human being can't control it. On individual basis, it's not possible at all. The business must continuously monitor and adapt itself to the business environment if it is to survive and prosper in future. Kindly do it again. The business must continuously monitor and adapt itself to the environment if want to survive and prosper. I think it is clear. I believe it is clear. Let us continue. According to Gluick and George, the environment includes factors outside the firm which can lead to opportunities or threats of the firm. Although there are many factors, the most important of the factors are socio-economic, technological, suppliers, competitors, and government. Kindly do it once more. The environment includes factors outside the firm which can lead to opportunities for or threats to the firm. Although there are many factors, the most important of the factors are socio-economic, technology, supplier, competitor, and government. So these are the factors which affect business. So this is the business firm is in the center, and this is the environment in the periphery of the business firm. Supplier, customers, competitors, creditor, and government. I believe it is clear. I believe this is crystal clear. Let us move ahead. Modern authors include both internal and external forces that influence business policies and actions as integral element of business environment. The next topic that we are going to discuss is characteristics of business environment. Characteristics of business environment. Business environment exhibits many characteristics. Some of the important and obvious characteristics are briefly described. Kindly go through it. We'll begin with first, business environment is complex. Business environment is complex. The environment consists of a number of factors, events, conditions, and influence arising from different sources. It is difficult to comprehend that one of the factors constituting a given environment. All in all, environment is a complex that is somewhat easier to understand in parts but difficult to grasp in totality. I repeat, environment is a complex process that is somewhat easier to understand in parts but difficult to grasp in totality. Mobile phone making music system computer books obsolete. Mobile phones making music system and computer books obsolete these days. Business environment is dynamic. Dynamic. The environment is constantly changing in nature due to the many and varied influences operating. There is dynamism in the environment, causing it to continuously change its shape and character. The film industry generates revenue from ringtones, caller tunes, rather than sale of music CDs. So see, the business environment is changing. It is dynamic. The film industry make revenues from the ringtones and caller tunes in the mobile phones rather the sale of music CDs, because nobody wants music CDs these days. Nobody wants music CDs these days. People take people take subscriptions of online music websites like like Ghana.com, winkmusic.com, and so on. Music websites, music websites like Ghana.com, winkmusic.com, etc. Next is multifacet. What shape and character an environment assumes depend on the perception of the observer. A particular change in the environment or a new development may be viewed differently by the different observers. This is frequently seen when the same development is welcomed as opportunity by one company while another company perceived it is a threat. Another company perceived it is a threat. I believe you have understood till here. I believe you have understood. Let us continue. Let us continue. LCD and plasma TVs giving way to LED and now LED giving ways to 3D TVs. So business environment has multifaceted and it is changing. 4K TVs are coming these days. Plasma TVs are coming these days. Far-reaching impact. Far-reaching impact. The environment has a far-reaching impact on organizations. The growth and profitability of an organization depends critically on the environment in which it exists. In which it exists. Any environmental changes has an impact on the organization in several different ways. Several different ways. An organization like Aditya Birla Group has moved from textile to cement to retail and financial services as well as telecom due to changing circumstances. An organization like Aditya Birla Group has moved from textile to cement to retail and financial services as well as telecom due to changing circumstances. That means due to changing business environment. Due to changing business environment. I believe it is clear. I believe it is clear. Let us continue. Let us continue. Write some more features of business environment. Totality of external forces. Totality of external forces. Totality of external forces. Business environment is the sum total sum total of all the external factors that influence the functioning of the business. Next point. Just do one thing before next point. Kindly write over here. Hence, it can be called as the comprehensive comprehensive, mega force, mega force consisting of all external all external inputs, totality of external forces. Next feature, specific specific and general forces, specific and general forces. Business environment, business environment is business environment is made up of business environment is made up of both specific and general forces. Specific and general forces, specific forces, specific forces refer to specific forces refers to the customers, competitors, competitors, investors, etc., which have which have a direct effect on direct effect the day-to-day on the day-to-day working of the business working of the business while working of the business while the general forces while the general forces refers to social social political, legal, technological, technological, and other forces and other forces which which indirectly which indirectly affect the which indirectly affect the operations of a business operations of a business. I believe you have understood till here. So specific and general forces. Specific forces which affect our industry, our company, and general forces which affect every industry and every company. Next is interrelatedness. Next is interrelatedness. Various elements of business, various elements of business environment are very closely are very closely related to very closely related to each other. For example, at present at present there has been an increase there has been an increase in demand for products like diet coke, that is cola, fat free fat-free cooking oil, fat-free cooking oil, sugar-free, sugar-free products, sugar-free products, etc. due to due to increase in awareness due to increase in awareness of good health good health among the consumers. Interrelatedness. I believe you understood this. Let us continue with the next point. Dynamic nature. Dynamic nature. Business environment. Business environment is dynamic. Business environment is dynamic in nature. It is dynamic in nature. That is, it keeps on changing. Business environment keeps on changing. For example, change in government policies, change in government policies, change in taste, change in taste, change in taste and choice of the consumer and choice of the consumer, change in technology, change in technology, change in technology, etc. Such changes, such changes, such changes could be triggered by, such changes could be triggered by internal, internal or external factors, external factors, external factors. I believe it is clear. Next point. Next is uncertainty. Uncertainty. Business environment is business environment is largely uncertain as as it is very difficult as it is very difficult to predict future to predict future to predict future happenings, especially especially when especially when environment especially when environment changes are taking place too frequently, as in the case of information technology, information technology, or fashion industry, fashion industries. So a lot of uncertainty is a part of business environment is highly uncertain, it is ever changing. Next is complexity. Next is complexity. Since since business environment business environment consists of consist of numerous numerous interrelated interrelated and and dynamic conditions dynamic conditions or forces condition or forces which arise from from different sources. It becomes it becomes difficult to it becomes difficult to comprehend at once. What exactly what exactly constitutes a given environment a given environment. In other words, environment environment is a complex phenomena that is relatively easier to understand relatively easier to understand in parts but difficult to grasp difficult to grasp in its totality in its totality. For example, for example, it may be difficult it may be difficult to know the extent of the relative impact of the social, economic, political, technological, or or legal factors on change in demand on change in demand of a product change in demand of a product in the market. Next is relativity relativity Business environment. Business environment is a relative concept. Is a relative concept since it differs from country to country and even region to region and even region to region. Political conditions in the USA, for instance, differ from differ from those in China or India. Similarly, demand for saris may be fairly high in India, whereas whereas it may be it may be almost non-existent almost non-existent in France. Let us move ahead. Let us move ahead. The next topic that we are going to discuss is importance of business environment. Importance of business environment. There is a close and continuous interaction between a business and its environment. This interaction helps in strengthening the business firm and using its resources more effectively. Using the resources more effectively, it helps the business in the following way. First, determining opportunities and threats. Determining opportunities and threats. The interaction between the business and the environment will bring about opportunities and threats to the business, giving direction for growth. The interaction with the environment enables the business to identify the areas for growth and expansion of their activities. Third, continuous learning. The managers are motivated to continuously update their knowledge, understanding and skills, understanding and skills to meet the predicted changes in the realm of business. Next is image building. Environmental understanding helps the business organization in improving their business image by showing their sensitivity to the environment in which they operate. For example, in view of the shortage of power, many companies have set up captive power plants CPPs in their factories to meet their own requirement of power. Meeting competition. It helps the firms to analyze the competitors' strategies and formulate their own strategies accordingly. I believe you understood till here. Business environment. Business environment helps. Business environment helps in coping with rapid changes. coping with rapid changes. Today's 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 business environment is getting increasingly dynamic dynamic where changes are where changes are taking place changes are taking place at a fast pace at a fast pace. It is not the fact of change itself. It is not the fact of change itself that is that is so important that is so important that is so important as the pace of change as the pace of change. Turbulent market conditions turbulent market conditions turbulent market conditions, less brand loyalty less brand loyalty, divisions and subdivisions and subdivisions subdivisions of markets, more demanding consumers more demanding consumers, rapid changes in technology and and intense global competition intense global competition are are just a few of the examples used to today's business describe today's business environment. I believe it is clear till here. All sizes all sizes and all types of enterprises are facing increasingly dynamic environment dynamic environment. In order to effectively in order to effectively cope with these significant changes these significant changes in order to cope with these significant changes, managers must understand, must understand and examine the environment, examine the environment and develop suitable courses of action, suitable courses of action. Next, it helps in it helps in assisting it helps in in planning assisting in planning and policy formulation and policy formulation. Since environment is a source of both opportunities and threats for business enterprise, for business enterprise, its its understanding and analysis can be can be the basis for can be the basis for deciding the future future course of action or training guidelines for decision making, training guidelines for decision making in the sense policy making. For example, for example, entry of entry of new players entry of new players in the market entry of new players in the market, which means which means more competition which means more competition may make an enterprise think afresh about how to deal with the situation how to deal with the situation. Next, it helps in improving performance. It helps in improving performance of the business. The final reason, the final reason for for understanding environment relates to whether or not it really makes a difference, makes a difference in the performance of an enterprise. The performance of an enterprise should improve. The answer the answer is that it does appear it does appear to make a difference, to make a difference. Many studies reveal that many studies reveal that the future of the future of the future of the enterprise is closely bound up with what is happening what is happening in the environment, what is happening in the environment, and the enterprise that that continuously monitor their environment, and and adopt business practices suitable business practices are the ones are the ones which not only improve their present performance, but also continue to succeed in the market for longer period also continue to succeed in the market for longer period. I believe you understood till here. Let us see what we have done in today's class. Let us quickly revise what we have done in today's class. We have seen the learning outcomes and the whole chapter overview, introduction about business environment. It is a dynamic process, ever-changing process. We have seen the meaning of business environment in detail, the factors affecting business environment. Then we shifted to the features and characteristics of business environment. Features. Business environment is complex, business environment is dynamic, business environment is multifaceted, business environment has far-reaching impact, totality of environmental external forces, specific and general forces, interrelatedness, dynamic nature, uncertainty, complex, relativity, relativity. Then we shifted to importance of business environment, determining opportunities and threats of the environment, giving directions for growth, continuous learning, image building, meeting competition. Business environment helps in coping with rapid changes. It helps in assisting in planning and policy formulation. It helps in improving performance of the business. It helps in improving the performance of the business. We have done till here. We are stopping here. We are stopping here. We'll continue from here in the next class. Thank you. Thank you.